Good day, everybody. What if the biggest problem hurting relationships isn't culture? It's not loyalty or values, but it's money stress. Money stress that we've been taught to ignore. Today, we're going to be talking about the truth about statistics and what they don't explain in the numbers, and how your financial structure quietly shapes who you stay together with and who doesn't stay together. This is going to be an interesting ride, so I want you to stick around to the end. I'm Ronco Johnson, your lifestyle focused wealth coach. I'll check you out, and I'm going to see you on the inside for more information that you're not going to want to miss. So stick around, hang out, tell a friend, and get ready because we got an episode that you don't want to miss. And we'll see you on the inside. Hey, this is Ronco Johnson, your lifestyle focused wealth coach. Good to see you. Good to see you. It's Lifestyle Focus Friday. Today, we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic, and we're going to be talking about how financial instability changes how people choose their partners, how they handle stress, and how they stay committed. And in this episode, we're going to talk about why relationship statistics often miss the real cause, and how money stresses push couples into survival mode, and why income stability matters more than income levels. We want to talk about a little bit more about what buying more money really means and why it's important to you. See, how the financial structure creates the condition for stronger relationships. This conversation is not about race. I'm going to say that from the very beginning. But it is about socioeconomics and long-term stability for across all cultures. It's everybody. So if you've ever felt that love wasn't the problem, but life pressure was, this is probably the episode for you. Because we're going to dive right on into the 5 vital pain points that I think statistics don't show. And then I'm going to prove to you, if we had more open dialogue, just a little bit further than stopping at race, we could probably get to the root of the problem instead of arguing the first sentence of a book. If you understand where I'm coming from, go ahead and put that down in the comments below, because this is going to be an interesting conversation, and we want to make sure that you're getting this content and that you believe in it. And if it resonates with you, then tell somebody. Continue to join and subscribe. Hit those buttons down below. Drive those algorithms up. We need all the help we can get. So welcome to the show. Welcome to the podcast. Today we're just talking about those 5 points that statistics don't show. And one of them of money stress challenges, I'm going to be honest with you. Money stress changes your behavior. It's simple as that. And the statistics don't show fear. Statistics don't show anxiety. It doesn't show pressure. People don't act differently because of culture. They act differently because of stress, the stress that they're under. And all too often, and I know in certain communities, especially Black and brown communities, we may be looking at each other based on statistics and saying, you know, there's not this person available, women aren't available, men aren't available, you know, this such situations are happening that I'm not comfortable with because there's just nobody available. Or I'm deciding to go choose this culture, I'm choosing this gender or what have you, because there just wasn't nothing left. There was no quality left. Well, let's have a conversation about that. See, when we start to unlock the fact that we have to be in control and start releasing control so we can have conversation, they're just opinions. and opinions matter. However, they're your opinions. I know one author that said all butts stink. All BUTTs stink. So allow everybody to have an opinion. So I'm going to say that from the very beginning as we dive right into it. And then we're going to have a conversation that probably is going to make some people start to think. And then I hope that it triggers you to have more value. More value in the conversations, more value in the people that you're around, and it helps you to make better, more informed decisions. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity to share this information with you. So let's dive on in. Let's talk about the number 2 reason right off the top is income volatility is more dangerous than low income. See, most data is not tracked. Most data tracks how much people make, not how steady it is. So in other words, if you're a commissioned salesperson, you may make $100,000 a year, but you might have made it in the month of January. And you didn't make anything the rest of the year. But it does track that you made $100,000. Better yet, you might have made your $100,000 in December and went a whole year with no commission. So that unpredictable income creates conflict much faster than someone with a modest, stable income. So that is a conversation that we have to have when we're discussing pain points, right? Pain points. Often there are men out here that feel like they don't make enough money to support their women, and there's women out here that feel like they don't have enough quality men to choose from. Or maybe they go away from certain men because of what they feel they're not getting out of the relationship. But what they may not be paying attention to is the underlying factor. And this is where our lifestyle focused wealth community comes in. We want to actually challenge those statistics and challenge that mindset to start thinking about the things that we're not talking about. It's not she's not good enough. It's not that he's not good enough. It's not that he can't take you places or she can't take you places or provide certain things, but it is about finance, and socioeconomics is part of that conversation. So number 3, short-term survival. Short-term survival destroys long-term thinking. Here's why. Because when people live paycheck to paycheck, they are forced to think short-term. That affects everything. Your partner's choices, the communication that you're having, your commitment levels, it affects a lot. And I think oftentimes, after almost 3 decades of being a financial professional, we don't have this conversation enough. Often it comes out when we start to talk about your financial planning, because we're forced to start thinking about long-term goals and how we're going to maneuver into the next step. And often you'll find that couples have a divide there. Our goal is to bring them back together. All right? So if you understand that, go ahead and put together in the chat. Go ahead and put together in the chat because that is a situation that, again, we don't think about very often. And what we're doing here is actually putting people together and thinking about our long-term goals, our legacy plan, how our families beyond us are going to benefit from the decisions that we make. And if one of the biggest decisions that we have to make is when we're stress-induced, guess what? Statistics show that we're probably not going to make the best decision. We're probably not going to communicate with our partners the best. And our commitments start to change. If you've experienced that, and I'm talking to you, listen, life is real. We all have these issues. But guess what? This is our safe place. Lifestyle focused wealth, we're not avoiding those conversations. We're having this conversation with you because you're in a safe place. Yes, we talk about what millionaires and billionaires do, but another thing that they do is take care of their mental health. They have access to professionals with information that help them see things a little bit better, a little bit more clearly. That's our goal today. Not only just providing you our consumer or our community driven financial literacy or financial intelligence. That's what we're doing here. But we're also asking you to engage and think and empower you to think a little bit more long range, right? A little bit more long range than normal. Because consumption, number 4, becomes emotional. It's not logical. It's not. And when I say consumption becomes emotional, I'm talking about spending is often used to reduce stress. Statistics don't show how emotional spending increases financial pressure in relationships. Let me go back and say that again. Financial pressures are increased by emotional spending. So when we really think about this for a second, I know a lot of the men are probably sitting on their hands right now because in private conversations, they're having this conversation. One, they may not be making enough to provide for their family due to inflation measures, loss of jobs, and those types of things. However, there is a pressure to kind of keep up with the Joneses, to make sure your spouse and your kids have the best. Really, that's what you really want. Ladies, I know you're out there. I know you're listening, but at this moment, I'm talking to our guys. You have to be able to have a conversation with your spouse about, hey, if you have a relationship with someone who spends a lot, you're going to have a conversation about the financial pressures it's causing when it exceeds well past your ability to earn. And there are, on the other side, ladies, there are women out here who are making much more money than their men. Well, we got to also make sure that they understand, and those are you that are raising young men and women, that they understand that their part to play is a value to a relationship, not a hindrance. I hear too many people wondering, going around talking about 100% or 50-50 or 70-20 or 10 and 20 when no one's bringing a real solution to the situation. We have studies that prove that 2-parent households do better. They do better because there's a multiplier of income. And when we start talking about spending versus buying money, we'll get into that in our private sessions and in our mastermind and our classes coming up in February 27th. February 27th, we're going to start talking about these in our master classes. But I'm going to tell you, there's statistics that show by far there is a huge difference when there's 2 incomes in a family. There's a big difference when we're talking about taking the financial pressure off of one and putting them both together. But it even gets better when we start to think about the idea of buying money. And I might be moving too fast right now. When $1 can buy you $9 more. When we talk about buying money, that's when $1 is the value goes up to $10. Well, essentially, you just bought $9 more. Well, think about it. If you're a household bringing in $5,000, $20,000, $50,000 a month between the two of you, each one of those dollars multiplied by 9, that's a lot more dollars to spend. The more dollars takes a little bit more stress off the relationship altogether. A lot of times we get stuck on who's providing left and who's providing right. But the truth is we all contribute to the financial pressures within that relationship, right? If you understand where I'm going with that, see if you can break that down. I'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about it. First of all, I want to welcome you guys to the show. This is Lifestyle Focused Wealth. Thank you guys for joining us. And I want to make sure that we are also planning for when the lights go out We want to make sure you're ready, right? That's really what this is all about. We want to make sure that you're ready. So if this is your first time, we want you to give some dialogue. And if something I'm saying resonates with you, please put it in the comments, put it in the chat. Chat it up, push hashtag Ronco Johnson or hashtag takeaways, and state your claim. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. Because I think when we have this open dialogue, we can start having dialogues together that makes him better, it makes her better, and makes them work together. And that's really what we're doing. I think it's so often the financial experts, we talk about the money and we're talking about the numbers on the spreadsheet, but we're not talking about how that service, financial service, could be the thing that keeps things together longer. And just like money, the longer the relationship is together, the more opportunity they have to succeed, because every dollar every year buys $9 more. And if that continues to go with the right healthy habits, there are statistic after statistic after statistic that shows that that pressure goes down. It goes down. And that's across the board. Every race, every gender, every individual, it goes down. When money is coming in that you don't have to work so hard to replace, you just took one of the main factors out of why relationships in current modern day is not working. So we want to make sure you put this in the comments. So do us a favor. The price of admission is right down below. Smash this like button today. Subscribe. Let me know that you're awake, because this is a hot topic. This is a hot topic. And ladies, I know this idea came from a conversation I was having with one of my faithfuls. And we were just having a conversation. And people tend to forget my background in media. Sometimes I just ask the hard question. It might be how you ask the hard question. So they're difficult questions. I don't have an opinion one way or another. I'm just asking the question. But it's amazing how you can ask the question and you can watch it go down the wrong road. It becomes a different conversation. But if we just peel back the onion and get past the layer of uncomfortability, we start to find where everybody's unique pain point really is. When we start to slow down our conversation and we start to talk about it a little bit differently, we start to find where there might be some rationale that maybe has been hidden from you in the numbers, simply because you're supposed to react and you're leaning into your reactions and emotions versus thinking about it more logically, right? I sound like a psychiatrist over here. How's everybody doing today? I see my line is blowing up. Good deal. Good deal. Keep that going up. We need all your participation today. We need all your participation today, because at the end of the day, our Lifestyle Focused Wealth community is all about helping you get to where you want to go. But one of the things is people think Lifestyle Focused Wealth is about just growing money. No, part of lifestyle is about being able to enjoy living. But how can you enjoy living when you're under tremendous stress? Think about it from that point of view. This doesn't have anything to do with race. However, I do recognize that there are certain cultures who have had a lot more stress based on systemic situations than others. We're not going to act like there's not true. We know that is happening. However, it's not because Black men are one way or Black women are another way. I have to say it that way, being that I'm a Black male professional. Okay? And it's already known that statistically, African Americans make less money than our Caucasian counterparts. We know that. That's why they call it a wealth gap. So we don't need to be so sensitive when we talk about this topic. These are reality. This is reality. And when you start to deal with reality straightforward, I think we can get to the root. We can get to the root of the problem. Because when one community's mid-range net worth is well over $200,000 to $400,000, when another one's mid-range net worth is $30,000 to $50,000, there's a class difference. There's a difference in how you're thinking. There is definitely a difference in the increase of pressure when it comes to finances. Hopefully you guys are understanding me there. Huh. That lies in line with why some people are really agitated when you bring up multicultural families. It's not because one race is better than another race. No, it's not where it's at. It may be a circle. It may be the circle of influence that's around a certain class of socioeconomic power. I made the statement, I said, well, I think people have preferences, but sometimes their preferences aren't always met with their expectations. Therefore, they stop looking at their preference and they start to follow their expectations. You can fill in the blank with that however you want to fill it in. But the statistics do show that based off of that socioeconomic standard and statistics, that relationships are more likely not to work out. They're more likely to end much sooner. The statistics that we're looking at is past 20 years. What happens with couples that are past 20 years? Well, they don't give you that statistic. Why? Because they don't talk about the people living 20 years. The next thing, when you look at people in the socioeconomic status about how much money the family makes and how much money the individuals make, if they're making below $50,000, $100,000 as a couple, that range goes up much higher of less successful long-term relationships across the board. But when you start to look at people with higher incomes, I'm saying each individual at $100,000, maybe $200,000 for a family, to $500,000 to $1 million, it gets more and more scarce. But those relationships have less stress financially. I'm only talking about the financial pressure. But statistics show that there's less cheating involved. Statistics show that there's less divorces involved. Statistics show that they live and stay together longer, which means their kids are more balanced. They have more dollars because they've had more time to multiply that together. They've learned to work together, which means that they're reducing the stress. See, consumption becomes emotional, not logical. Because when you're spending is often used to reduce stress, statistics do not show how your emotional spending increases your financial pressures. I just want to make sure that we talk about that and keep that in mind. Number 5, our lack of protection creates constant fear. See, most data ignores what happens when families have no safety nets. See, the fear of loss quietly weakens trust in individuals peace in the relationships. How many of you have ever had a foreclosure notice on your house, a repossession notice on your car? That just the simple fact that you may be outside and your families are outside, that's fear. How about when it's cold outside? It's now is what, February? Almost on us. It's below freezing and then your heat goes off. Fear. You're fearful of many different things. You're fearful of what other people are going to think about you, how your family's going to think about you, how your community is going to think about you. The data doesn't show that. The data doesn't talk about that. You understand? Boy, I see you guys are really firing it up today. So when I come back, we're going to talk about some solutions to these things I've already pointed out. And I'm going to give you 5 powerful solutions statistics have missed. Because on the surface, we might be talking to each other, but we're not addressing each other's love language, our financial love language. And we're missing each other. And we're deciding not to choose one another because we're stuck at the beginning topic. What you gonna do for me? What has been done for me? That is not what the conversation needs to be. The conversation is, how can we work well together? How can we beat this system in the head and win? And that's what our Lifestyle Focused Wealth community is all about. We're going to share that with you. When I come back, we're going to be talking about the 5 solutions, not just continuing the argument, not just continuing to show. We want you to be able to have information that really matters. We want you to be able to have a solution in the conversation. When I return, see you in a moment. Hey, join our Lifestyle Focused Wealth community. Membership starting at $16 a month when you pay the annual subscription. So register online today at www.lifestylefocusedwealth.com. Hey, it's Ronco Johnson, your Lifestyle Focused Wealth Coach. Thank you for joining us. This is When the Lights Go Out, Are You Ready? Today we've been talking about what it looks like when we start having a real conversation about statistics and money behaviors and the stresses, and what does it look like in couples and relationships, and how it affects us and how we think about things. Are we really making the right decisions all the time? Or are we really hard on one another for the wrong reasons? Just suppose you realize that you were going at somebody that you loved, or you had an idea that you've constructed based off of the norms of what society says, and you did that incorrectly. And you've made a decision that changes the landscape of your family, your children, everybody involved. But the one conversation that you didn't have was the one conversation that was really causing the problem. You didn't have a conversation about the money because you didn't have the right responses to money to behave and talk to one another. So here's some pain points that we've talked about and the solutions to those things, right? Stability is more powerful than income. Ladies, I need you to hear me. Fellas, I need you to hear me. Steady cash flow reduces stress and arguments, even without a high income. So it's okay if you're a normal blue collar worker and you're working your 9 to 5 and you're bringing home a steady income. That doesn't mean you're going to treat somebody worse. But if you and your partner work together, 250s make 100. But if you're buying more money with your money, each dollar buys 9 more dollars. That's 100 times 9. That's 900. Okay? If you really think about how simplistic our system really is and how powerful that really is, focus on building stability more than how much money and income someone makes. That's number one. Number two, buying money. It changes the relationship dynamic. I'm telling you, if you really want to talk to someone's heart, especially for myself, I've realized and learned that my financial love language has to be met. It has to be met. Maybe some of you haven't figured out that you have one. But I realize that I'd much rather have a relationship where she and I together can buy money together. Not stuff, buying money. Because that's going to change the dynamic of the relationship in the long run. Why? Because those dollars that we're using as tools, working together, compounding over time, is going to give us dividends and interest that we can live off of, providing us the lifestyle that we want to live. When couples invest in assets instead of things, they tend to plan together instead of reacting. Buying money changes the relationship dynamic. That's number two. Number three, structure. Having a structure, a financial structure, creates a psychological safety net. See, tools like life insurance, annuities, and long-term planning, it removes the what if. That's the fear from daily life. A lot of times we're talking about going on a trip, going on a cruise. We're talking about when I retire at 65. We're talking about all these different things, but we're not talking about the one thing that's guaranteed to happen. The one thing that guarantees to happen, everybody has a start date. Everybody has an end date. It makes sense to structure around the possibility that today might be your last day. Don't run from the idea, run towards it. Build structures around that. That's going to be your psychological safety net. Now you do that, that's where the transformation starts to happen, because you start to address the what if with, I know it's going to happen one day. I've already planned for it. And because I've already planned for it, that causes me less stress. That's taken care of. Not another thought, move on to a new thought. Am I putting that down? Are you getting me? Give me a thumbs up out there if you can. Listen, we need all the help we can get with the algorithm. We want to make sure that people are understanding what our heart's desire really is. Financial intelligence and AI intelligence merged together can help people quickly get structured so you can have this safety net, not just financially, but I'm talking about emotionally, psychologically, and for a long term. Number four, long-term thinking stretches the commitment. See, when couples can see the future, they are more likely to stay aligned. They're more likely to be patient because they're all rowing in the same direction. Not 5 years, not 7 years, not 15 years. Hey, listen, we're all human. We all make mistakes. We all have things we feel good about. We all have things that maybe we could have done better. But if you've already made that decision, fine. That decision was done. You've already made your decisions. But one other decision you can make is what you do today. Start focusing on what you want to become and start walking towards that. and understanding that longer-term thinking strengthens commitment. Instead of ideally just saying, there's nobody out there that wants to commit. I have not met somebody in my circle that would like to commit. Commit to what? Commit to your misuse of money? Commit to having to carry another financial load and create more stress the older I get, where I'm supposed to be focusing on living the lifestyle that I want from our intentional building of wealth? Think about that for a second. People may not be saying no to you because you're not desirable, but they may be saying no to you because you're not thinking long term. That may happen for anyone. Number 5, financial systems change behavior automatically. It will change your behavior automatically. Our lifestyle focused wealth system, it works because structure guides better decisions without constant effort. Once you get the system in place, it's almost automatic. And when that part of it goes, the stress goes. What do you think? What do you think? See, we're going to go ahead and just address the 8,000-pound gorilla in the corner, right? If you notice, that's where we all can relate on. What stresses us? It doesn't matter if you're male or female. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, European. It doesn't matter. It don't matter where you are. That money stress, it hits us all differently. If you're coming from a lower economic background, it's important to really understand how you could benefit from learning how to buy money. It's even more important because you have limited amounts of money now. But the shorter and the older you are, the shorter the time you have. And if you're a single individual, you got to work twice as hard to put more money away because you're one person with one income stream. I need you to think about that for a second. For those single individuals that are only putting $200 out of their $5,000 a month of income, listen, it's not going to get you where you want to go. Stop fooling yourself. Change your behavior. Stop rushing to spend the money on bills when you should be spending your time thinking about buying more money so that the money you buy can help you pay your bills. I know I'm laughing about it, but it's not a laughing matter, but it's almost so simple. I'm giving the secret sauce away. This is our conversation. If this conversation opened your eyes, I want to invite you to go deeper to our AFI Masterclass. AFI stands for Artificial and Financial Intelligence. See, that's going to come up in February. February 27th, mark your calendar. We're going to have this conversation right here, 1 o'clock Friday. That day, we're going to open this up and we're going to have a conversation. We're going to have the conversation where this is our community-based initiative, which is about turning financial chaos into clarity. So families can grow stronger, calmer, and more intentional. If you like this, put a thumbs up in the comments below. I want to make sure that you, your family, your friends, go out and grab someone. Tell them you need to get on this podcast today. You need to be here today. You need to be part of this community initiative today. We're going to talk about artificial intelligence. We're going to talk about financial intelligence. And then we're going to talk about how all of that can go together. As your trusted financial family friend, I think we're going to take care of the things that matter most. We want to build relationships. We want to build tribes. We want to have people who are sharing their success stories, who are coming out of the woodworks and starting businesses and starting to understand the tax advantages And having more control is not scary. It's not scary. It's not. I want to thank you guys for sticking around and watching our Lifestyle Focused Wealth information. And I want to encourage you to subscribe down below. Go down to the notes. Hit the button below. Go ahead and subscribe, because we're going to be giving financial tips and wealth tips for those members that are what we call our prime movers, if you will. We're going to be giving this information to you as part of our community service because we need it. It's time that we start moving with clarity. We start cleaning up the financial chaos that's been caused a larger divide than probably you expect. The system is designed for us to fail if you buy into the narrative. But if you just take one step back, take a deep breath, and start to see that, oh, the situation's deeper than what we talk about on the layer. The layer you probably will never, ever be able to control because every one of us are different. But the decisions that we make at the core, it's just a decision. It's a decision that you make every single day to either buy more money or spend your money. And for those of you that are spending, you may want to really be in this masterclass. You may really want to be in this masterclass because this is where transformation changes lives. Like I said, near 3 decades, being one of the top less than 1% of financial professionals in 75 countries, I've had enough opportunities to sit down from well over 3,000 families in my career and sit down and go through these very issues with families. And you will be surprised once we start to reduce the level of stress, what happens with the family's aptitude and their attitude. The energy builds. They start to find themselves again. And they start thinking outside the box and doing things that are so creative that they never thought about in a long period of time. So I just like the fact that we have a small price and a small piece to play in that. And I take that very seriously. So I just want you to be involved. I don't want to do it all by myself. If you want to stop surviving and start building, you need to join our AFI Masterclass, Artificial and Financial Intelligence, February 26, 2026 is our start date. You're going to start seeing the clips. You're going to start seeing commercials. This is why this changes lives. We're going to be talking about that because when people feel financially safe, they make better choices. They make better choices in love. They make better choices in life. And it also, we know that when they're making better choices, stability changes everything. It changes everything. That person that you think you can't rely on becomes the most reliable person in your life. This works for everyone. That's what I love about it. This is a multicultural situation. This message is for everyone because at its core, when money stress is high, relationships struggle. And when the structure exists, families get stronger. And our job is to tell you how you can create a financial security blanket, put it in a structure, and keep the money from falling out the bottom and allow it to build up, giving you a heavier bag. And you can carry that heavy bag much longer. And the longer you carry it, the more it's going to multiply. We already know that to be true. So if you didn't know what lifestyle focused wealth really means, it isn't about being rich. It's about being less stressed. It's about having more control. It's about having better decisions. Structure helps families grow strong. And if you understand what I'm saying, put strong in the bottom, in the comments. Put it in the comments. Send that up to the moon, because this is where we have to start having real conversations. No more clickbait. No more this conversation that's meaningless. No more of these questions that people aren't getting true answers to. If you're tired of that, as much as I am, you need to join our association today. You need to join our membership. Here's why. Structure creates safety. This is your safe place. This is your safe place. Lifestyle focused wealth is where you want to be when people feel safe, relationships last longer. And that is the core of our heart's desire here. Right? Tools like life insurance and long-term planning reduce your fear. So we know that the safety that we provide creates a safe space for your love to grow. Start loving the idea of multiplying money. Start loving the idea of introducing your family and friends, your sisters, your brothers, to the concept of building wealth, enjoying their life, living for today. Yesterday we can't do nothing about, and tomorrow's too far away. Start living in the present moment right now. Make that decision. That can change your life, because income isn't the real issue. It never has been. It's about how much, it's not about how much you make. I think so many people think, hey, I'll call you when we make more money. That's always made me laugh. It's about how steady your income is and how protected your income is. It's not about how much you make. Stability is what matters. It matters more than income. That part you can surely bet your stock on that one, okay? I'm just giving you some secrets that you could take with you, because this is why buying money changes couples. It's simple. Because when couples start learning to buy money, something changes. They stop reacting. They start planning together. And money becomes a tool, not the enemy. See, this is where these relationships really matter. I feel like I'm giving you guys all the secrets in the secret sauce, but we want you to have it, because stop buying stuff. Buy money. That's right. We can say it over and over again. Nobody taught us this stuff growing up. But guess what? That's not an excuse for you not to change your habit. Instead of buying things, buy money. Turn that $1 into more value later. Because that's how you're going to build a fortress that's calm and stress-free. If you like this information that we've shared today and it's resonated with you, please put it down in the comments. I check my DMs. I would love for you to send me a message. Let me know how it's affecting you. And share your viewpoint. Share your viewpoint. I would love it. And for those of you that want to follow me, you can go on any social media platform, look at Ronco Johnson, or you could just go to roncojohnson.com, schedule some one-on-one time with us, and I hope to see you at the top. I hope to see you in our masterminds and all the good stuff that we got coming up. You need to be part of the room, because you're valuable. Your value is needed, it's necessary, it's important. And we want to make sure that you understand that. But we don't just want to put lip service to it. We want you to be a part of it. We really need you to be a part of it. And one thing I have, you just never know who you're in. You just never know. When you start thinking about how we're going to be able to teach how money really works, how structure can change lives, and how stability creates legacies long term, you can't help but get excited. If you want to learn more about how these videos and how to learn to help others transform, you're going to want to be inside the room. And we're going to teach you how to do that. And hopefully you decide that you want to scale and start helping the community that you live in get better, get smarter, and have more financial intelligence along with the speed of artificial intelligence at the same time. Hey, listen, that's my time. I'm Ronco Johnson, your lifestyle focused wealth coach. Thank you guys for joining us. This has been When the Lights Go Out. Are you ready? Oh, before I go, I just want to make sure I say hello to everybody that's in the chat. I see you. I see you. I see you. And I'm sorry we didn't get to go through all of that today, but I promise you, I sit down after the show and I read every single one of them. I actually read every single one of them. So God bless to you. God bless to your family. And I look forward to seeing you every Friday at 1 o'clock right here. Same time, same place. I'm Ronco Johnson, your lifestyle focused wealth coach. See you next week. God bless.